Good evening, everybody. It's Crafty Chris here with another one-page layout. Tonight we are using up all those things that I've asked you to keep in store and not throw away. So we're looking at our half-inch strips of paper and long pieces and our zip strips. So a lot of the things that I have you do either through Created 8 or on my YouTube channel is asking you to save the zip strips. So tonight we are going to do a layout actually using those zip strips. So I have a 12 by 12 piece of paper in front of me today, and our photo is going to be a 4 by 6 photo. And I'm going to trace where my photo is going to go because I am actually doing a little bit of some math, but it's easy math. So we're going to do our 4 by 6 photo. I'm just eyeballing this, so approximately there, and I'm just going to take my pencil and lightly trace around the edge of my 4 by 6 so I know where my 4 by 6 photo is going to live. And once we, there we go. And across the top, of course I taped it, so I'm just going to fill that in with a sketch line. Alrighty, so now I'm going to put that to the side because I will want to come back every once in a while and have a look at that. Alright, so this is our 4 by 6 photo. It's along the 6-inch halfway point of the page, so our focus is going to be in the upper 6 inches of the page, and we are going to be spreading out our pieces of zip strips out from the center of the photo. Now the zip strips that I collected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 colors. It's up to you whether you use 9 colors or not. I had originally planned on alternating the colors all the way around, but I felt that it was a little bit too busy. I like the colors I picked, so I'm going to do all of one color, then all of the next color, then all the next color. So you'll see what I mean when I get it out. But I do want to kind of do it in a dark to light procession. But I also have to remember that if I have two pieces that are almost identical, I've got to split them up. So I'm just playing with my little pieces and seeing what I like about them. This has a little bit of an edge to it. So I am going to get my trimmer and just chop off any excess pieces that I don't want. So this has just got a tiny little bit on that edge, and not much, but just enough to kind of throw off my colors. So I just trim that little piece off, and now I have a nice clear white edge around that. I'm not going to trim it down. I like that white edge. I'm using white paper, so it's not really going to show that much. Alrighty, so I want to make sure that I've got my colors kind of split up between, not really dark to light. I can't really say that it's dark to light, but it's different intensities of color. Okay, so this, even though it has quite a bit of darkness in it, the background is too pink to be beige and too so I'm going to keep it as well. And I'm looking and seeing that it has a bit of a strip, and this one is a little more awkward, so I'm just going to take my big scissors and cut along the edge because it's not quite, there we go. So I've just taken my big scissors, and when you have big scissors you can make a long cut and keep it nice and, there we go. So I was able to get that little bit of darkness off. Alrighty, much better. Alrighty, so I've just moved these off to the side so I can figure out what I'm doing here. I have marked the center of where my 4x6 photo is. So we have that center point. And I'm going to line up my pieces with that center point. Now I already know that it's slightly off because I can see that. So I'm just going to have my right side be the side that I line up with my center point. Okay, so this little bit here, I'm just going to put a little extra sticky here. There we go. And I'll do the trimming at the end. So there's my first piece that I've put down. And now I'm going to get my second piece, and again I want to line up my second piece with that center point. So, and I want to give us maybe 1/4 of an inch at the bottom. So I'm going to bring down my piece at the top so that it kind of aligns with what's going on here, a little bit over my actual I lost my mind. My actual 4x6 spot. I'm going to line up the top and the bottom so that that's heading towards the center point as well, and stick that down so I have this small space underneath. I'm going to take the next one, do the same thing. Gonna line it up at the bottom, make sure I have a little bit over. I'm not as worried about how much I have over, but I am worried about the angle. So I'm going to try to keep aligning everything with that center angle. Okay, and this is still going to be long enough. So again, I'm going to line it up at the bottom, take my ruler and keep it lined up towards the center. Okay, then my next piece is going to go about the same way. This one is a little shorter, so I have to be careful that I definitely have it going over at the bottom, and I already know it'll just barely go over the top, so I need to line up the bottom and the top. There we go. All right, so it's just meeting at the bottom, and as you can see I have this space happening here. Now the reason why I've got my sorry, try to get the camera a little bit lower. I have this matted so I'm not having to fight against my paper, and I'm just working straight from my paper. This piece is too short, so I'm going to wait and leave that to the end, and hopefully it will be long enough at the end. This one might even be too short, so I think I'm going to have to give those two, have those wait till the end. And I'm going to go, I just took that one off because it was too short. I'm going to line up my edge with the next 1/4 inch, and then stick this down. Don't need too much, just enough to have it under. There we go. Got that open. Going to use my next piece, line it up with the next 1/4 inch. And that's the great thing about using one of these mats, is the fact that it there we go. It gives you the 1/4 inches. That needs a little more adhesive. There we go. And then I think that these guys are going to be too short, so they are not going to be used. So we're going to move on to our next color. And the next color I had are ranges in browns. And I'm again going to play with my coloring. Let's see. Try to split some of this up, and you can see I have like plain craft. I have paper that had stone on it. Give it a little bit of a, I have these little bitty bits, lots of this one, so maybe, is that going to work? Maybe I'll use that one in the next round. This is kind of a yellowy one. Maybe that can go in there. Trying to give a little bit of variety, but still have it flow nicely. Alrighty, I think I'm happy with that mix. Gonna have to move it up a bit. Start with this guy. This guy is gonna go there. It's just not gonna make it. Okay, so we'll move him to the end, and we'll start with this guy. He for sure is gonna make it because he's very long. So I am going to put a couple of pieces of adhesive on here. Just do an eyeballing of how long I need, how much adhesive I need. There we go. And I'm going to line up my center point with my next 1/4 inch, and this is just going to go over top there and down to there, and there we go. Alrighty. Now that I can probably cut off and save some of that. This pink one I can as well because they're quite long. Now can I get this guy? No, he's still a little bit too short. Move him down there. This guy will be fine. Alrighty. So you have two sides, but this just doesn't do anything for me, so that's why I'm using the other side. And I just want to make sure I get enough tape on there. There we go. And I'm going to put my ruler on that corner point, go to the next 1/4, and just pop this on top of that, and that down to my next 1/4 point. Whoops, come back. And there we go. And this is all going to be covered over by my 4x4 photo. So I'm not worried about this, and I'm going to pop dot the photo so there's space underneath for the excess paper. And now we're going to do this one. Awesome. And it gets a little bit wonky around here because you're switching directions, but it all works out in the end. And I just want to make sure I have enough adhesive. There we go. Alrighty, so again, this time I'm going to the next 1/4 inch, which is up. So that's my line now. I'm on the upper edge of things. And so you just make sure you have enough space there, and that this guy is going in the right line. There you go. Okay, and so now we're traveling up the side. And I don't need as long paper. That's about the same length. Okay, and this should be okay. So now line this up with the next 1/4 inch that's here. The first couple are a little bit tight. They'll look like they're too close together, but they're fine. There we go. So there's not much space there, but as we get going up, it opens up quite a bit. Alrighty, and now I am going to get this piece on there. This is just kind of how I gauge how much adhesive to put on. And we're going to line this up with the next 1/4 inch going up. And the center. And this doesn't, just needs to make sure it's underneath. There we go. Alright, do you see how it's building? And then all of this we're not worried about because it disappears. Alright, so I'm going to keep doing this, and you can keep doing it on your page. And then we will meet in about 2 minutes. Well, it's longer than that, but in video time. And I will turn this back on when this whole thing has been completed. And hopefully you will be working on that as well. See you in a moment. Okay, so we're back and I've got most of my page finished, and I just now am going to finish up the last color, which is my red, and I'm going to figure out what order I want my reds in. And if I have doubles of reds, I'm just going to hang on for a minute. No, I think I want just like that. Oh, that was a gray I didn't use. Okay, I think I'm going to do it that order. No, that's a little, I think I'll do it this order. There we go. Right. Except that now I'll have two planes side by side, and I've tried to avoid that. So maybe we'll do it that way. There we go. Okay, that's the way we're going. Alrighty, so it's the potential for me to not have enough strips here is high because I've got all this to go and I've got like 4 little strips. I may have to repeat the colors, so that's why I have some extra up here out of the way of the same stuff. But we're just going to play it by ear and see what's going on. Now, if you do not have a mat that has this grid on it, you can use grid paper. So all you would do is line up your grid paper, stick it down with some reusable tape, and then when you're finished in that section, move it to another section and line it up. So it would be the same process, only just using reusable tape as opposed to using the grid paper mat. All right. See, I still save that because that can go somewhere. And I already think I have another idea for a layout using smaller strips that are left over from our bigger strips that we're using right now. So that might be next week. Okay, so lining this up from the center to the edge, making sure. There we go. All right. Then the next one is this red piece. And woo, just going to have enough of that. Just enough of that. All right. No cutting required. Now this one, I think I went over here, so I'm folding back my tape, lining up my ruler again here with the next corner, making sure that that's right on the line. Oh, I have a little more room, so it's not too as bad as I thought. There we go. Oops. And there we go. Alrighty. Then this guy is the longest piece. And he's going to have to go there. So I'm not going to cut anything off of him. Alrighty. Lining this up with this one. There we go. And that That one is sticking there. And there. Okay. And then this piece is not going to be big enough. So, and that piece is not going to be big enough. Okay, so this is where we run into a bit of a problem. I need a few more reds. So I have thicker strips of paper that is red in my little container. That I have thin strips and thick strips. So in here is where I kept all of those pieces of zip strips and small thin pieces of paper. So now I'm just going to go through and pull out some reds, make sure they're long enough. That's almost like a pinky red. Oh, that's totally pink, not even close to red. I also have to make sure they're long enough pieces. So that will work. That will work. Need a couple of more. So this is where you go to your larger stash of pieces. That will work. So maybe I'll do that there. There we go. And actually, this is just as good as that, so I can leave that for another thicker border, or I need more paper. Alrighty. Oh, this plaid is kind of nice. That's not really going to make it though. It's a little bit too thin, or too short, rather. This is kind of neat. I think I could put that in there. Excuse me. So I've already got some of these things put down, so when I actually go to put the new ones down, I'm going to have to think of them as like an individual, same red, an individual collection of reds, because I don't want to be pulling up my other colors of red and reorganizing them. Oh, this has nice red on it. I like that. Okay. What do we got left? That's orange. Okay, I think that's it. So let's see what happens when we use these. And I'm just going to take the small pieces of these. So I need my trimmer. I want a 1/2 inch. So my 1/2 inch is actually I can't use this one. Chopper trimmers are the best for cardstock because they chop through and the things don't get dull, but unfortunately I can't really use that today. So today we're going to use, because I want a 1/2 inch exactly or less, we're going to use our, I don't even like that side, so let's put this there. There we go. Red, red. 1/2 inch red. Now, this is under 1 inch, so that's going to be a thin border, and these guys are going to be on the thick border side. Is that 1 inch? Oh, that can go in thin borders too. So anything 1 inch and under goes in my thin borders, and anything 2 inches and under goes in my thick borders. That's just how I organize. There we go. And one more piece. We'll see how this works. Oh. Okay. These are thick, so I go in the thick border. Okay. Now, I don't want to use more of this because I think it's quite enough. And this orangey red I'm going to give in on as well. So let's see, how do I like these? I'm going to organize these on the side. These are two different reds. And there we go. So I think I'm going to start with this more browny red. And then some red and black. And then some red and beige. And then hopefully, we'll see how far we get on this. We may need to add more. All right, so this is pretty much the whole strip. Okay. Get my ruler again. Try to keep my hair out of it. There we go. Starting up at the top, and running down to the bottom. There we go. That's good. Next one. Do I need to trim that? Oh, okay. Better make sure I know how far I'm sticking. And this will probably need a trim. Okay, whoops. Make sure your words are the right side up. And of course, I stuck it from the wrong end. There we go. Line that up. Okay, whoops. There. And this will be the next one. There isn't really an up and down on this one. Well, there is. Get my ruler. There we go. Okay. And then I've got this one. This hasn't really got much left over. Line up my ruler. All right. So I'm probably going to still need a couple of papers. So rather than have you wait around and watch me look for those, I will finish this last piece and then I will be back to finish the video. Whoa, is that even going to work there? Yeah, just barely. So that goes there, that goes there. Very, 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 very close. Like literally right on. both ends. Nice. Okay. Alrighty, I will see you in a few minutes. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more papers to find, and I think I'm going to move into a little bit of the purples to do that. See you in a moment. Alrighty, we're back with a couple of extra pieces of paper. Because I haven't done this before, I have no idea how many pieces I needed. Of course, I will be able to tell you that in the notes on the notification, so you'll be a little better prepared. Alrighty, so I'm going to throw the purple in there. I need a big ruler. Just finish off this last little bit. There we go. All right. You may not need all 3 because I'm just realizing some of these are going to cover up. All right, so let's figure out how many we actually do need. I need something to blend in with that. So I really only need 3 pieces. All right, that's interesting. It's too wide. Actually, you know what? I think we're just going to finish it there. Beautiful! So we only needed 2 pieces instead of all these pieces, but now I have borders for the next time. Alrighty. So this one piece now is going to finish, and it needs to go underneath the piece that we started with. So we're just lifting up the top section and slipping this underneath, centering it between these 2, and that should be all we need to do. Okay. Alrighty. So just going to center that between the 2 pieces. Lifted the top, so now everything's going under itself. Wow, that's a lot of paper strips. Isn't it good that you have a lot of paper strips? Okay, so now the next step is to trim this out. So we are going to take off, stick on the tape, so just pull that off. I keep my tape on my pencil sharpener, or no, this is my stapler. So I reuse and reuse and reuse this tape. Alrighty. Oh, come on, let go. There we go. A little bit of sticking happening. Alright. So now some of these pieces I will keep for another layout. Like this is a nice piece that I can keep for another layout. And this gray is a nice piece I can keep for another layout. So we're just going to put these aside. Actually, I'm just going to trim them along the edge, these guys, because they're certainly reusable. And even that one is. Don't know about this one. These guys are fine. There's some sticky on the backs of some of them, so I may or I may not take the time to take the sticky off. If I don't, I'll have to be careful when I pick it out of the pile. All right, so let's finish this edge. Okay. Using our nice long scissors to trim these edges. And there's nothing really to keep here. So we're just going to stuff these pieces in the recycling. And it doesn't look like there's much to keep on this edge either. I'm just going to trim it right down. All the way around. Nice long scissors. Get all these little bits off, out of the way. And recycle those. Nothing to keep on this side. Okay, so these are sticking to my scissors now. There we go. And trimming off this piece. And there's a couple of pieces I'll probably keep on this side. Not that. Nothing really there. That's a cute little piece. I think I'll keep that. Keep that. These are keepers. Alrighty. I'm going to keep this one. There we go. Okay, keep those two, and the rest is too small to worry about. And recycling that. And then you flip it over and ta-da! Wow, look at that layout. That is so much fun. Okay, so now I want to put some sort of a, let's see, what do I want to put there? Like a tag or an index card or some kind of, something like that. So in my bits and pieces of things, I have tags and medallions, tabs and flags. So I'm going to pull out my tabs, I'm going to pull out my tags. And I'm going to pull out my book of background papers. Because some of these may be big enough, or maybe not. So I have a binder that has all matting material, so things that are big enough for mats. And this is kind of how I store all these bits and pieces of things, mostly by color and whether it's patterned or plain. Some things by fall, Christmas, winter, flowers, that kind of stuff, things that are obviously a season or an event. And so my picture is going to go there somewhat, and I want to have like a little something going on in the background there. So I want to pull out some of the colors from in here. And I think because I only have the 2 purple, I might actually go with purple. So let's see what I have in the way of, that's blue. I have a lot of purple. Let's see if this is going to work for me. It doesn't have to be the whole size. I just want sort of a corner of it. That's actually a little too big. Let's look at something slightly smaller. Oh, this might be cool. I have some of this paper. It's actually embossed, and it could be the background tab thing, like that. Okay, so let's think about that. And I want to think about, let's see, this is going to be a photo of my husband and I, I'm pretty sure. There we go. And actually I'm going to make that a little smaller so it's just showing. We have all these, I have all these tabs that I've been collecting over time, and I can just flip through them. Oh, that's kind of a neat tab. It's the wrong kind of purple though. Legs. There's a black and white tab. Goes into the gray. Ooh, maybe that flowered tab. And I could put a date there. What else do we have? Got white. And lots of black and white ones. No, I think I'm going to stick with this little one. It's a really pretty flower printed one because it's got lots of colors in it. There we go. So that's going to go there-ish. And I want to kind of make a little something happening here. And I think I want to keep it kind of generic, but I do think I can use either flowers or I have some of these geometric shapes. Those are too big. Maybe I could color one of these. No, that's a little too large. Let's see what else we have in here. Arrows are always good. Let's see if we can find an arrow. That's a pretty nice size arrow, but I'm kind of missing the arrow part of it. Maybe not an arrow. Maybe a medallion. See, this is basically my thought process. It just kind of comes to me at a particular time. I have to, don't really know ahead of time. I gotta kind of wait for it to be the right moment. Put that there. Starry night. I don't want a nighttime thing. Don't blend when you were born to stand out. That might be fun. Now what else is in here? That's it for that. What's this? Wooden medallion. Maybe move that up there. Put that there. I would probably color that, but maybe not. I don't know. All this stuff to go inside here. Alrighty, let's see how we're working here. It's coming together. Coming together. All right, put those away. Tags and medallions. Don't need any more of those tabs and flags. Or do I want more tabs and flags? I think I might have one more tab. A long, thin tab. Actually, maybe a journal spot, which I have a little container full of journal spots too. Flags. Medallions. Alrighty. So, tons of journal spots. Ooh, I saw something yellow here. So these are my tabs and medallions. Some of them are blank because I've cut around stickers that I've used, and then I just will use this on a piece of white paper. Some are little journal spots, just white paper journal spots. Oh, I keep seeing yellow, but it doesn't come to hand when I need it. Okay. Big ones have to go in last. What do we got here? Arrows, doodads. It's too big. Just too much the same color. Oh, I like this. I did this with a distress cutter, a decal edge cutter. Those are kind of fun. But they're plain. I need something with color. There's blue. Blue gonna go in with all this mess. Or black, maybe. I think I might. That's too pale. Maybe black would work. And what else? Don't have any blue on there, so I don't want to add another blue. Maybe red. Pull up the reds a little bit. It's too pale. I like that yellow. That's going to be white and yellow. Okay, I think we're going in this direction. Oops. That goes in there. And I just want to make sure that I'm happy with this. It's a little more interesting. Gonna lose the tail on that. Nope, it's too pale. Okay. And that's too blue. I don't have any blue, so we're back to yellow. And just a last look around the bits and bobs that I have. Some circly bits here. Can always add flowers. Flowers work with any layout. Okay. All right, let's put these away. All right. And I'm going to see what I have in the way of flowers. I haven't looked at my flowers in a while. I've been using them up quite a bit, so there is the possibility that I don't have much. Don't want blue. Let's see. And if I just use this for sort of a base. Maybe. If I took the little flowers out of that, added this to this. That looks good. Alrighty, what else do we have in here? Like the little heart flower thingy. But I don't know if I can fit that in. No. And that might work. Just thinking I might leave that wood as wood and put some sort of a flower in the center of it. If I just look at that flower, it competes too much with the purple pink thing going on there. And what else do I have? That's a rub-on, that won't work. Nope, I think that that is going to be it. Unless I want that one. That's pale. That's darker purple because we haven't got much in the way of purple. I think I'm done. Alrighty. And then we'll have to work on a title. And we need a title. And I have all kinds of title materials. I could put, say, cheese, the good stuff, this photo, or don't have blue though. Remember, that's a good pack. Want something quick and easy that I don't have to do a lot with. That's big enough. Those are too small. Could I add in favorite memories? I think I like the other ones better. And then I also have gold. I love you. Hello, XOXO. Lovely, dream, happy. best ever. Nope, not doing it for me. Okay, so I think I figured that out too. All right, so let's get some of this laid down. Now, I am going to have to put a placeholder in here because this stuff all depends on what the place my photo is. So I am going to take a picture of what's going on here, as you know I do. And then I'm just going to rotate it so I can see it better. There we go. Okay. Now, I'm actually going to use my, so I have to measure this down again and get it back in its proper place. So it's going to be on 3, 6. The bottom of it is going to be here, about halfway, either side, something like that. I'm going to lightly draw my lines in so that I know I can look at that later when I'm placing the photo. It's very hard to draw lines on this bumpy surface. Okay, so there's my photo spot, and that can go away. Now, this is not going to stick a whole lot outside of the photo frame. First, I'm going to make sure I've got this on here. So that's our tab. Okay. And I want it a little bit out, maybe a 1/2 inch out on either side. So this is going to be under our picture, so we can actually put that down now. So I'm going to give myself about a 1/2 inch out, 1/2 inch above. And try to line that up. There we go. So that goes down. Then in my picture I had this tucked underneath my photo, so that can still be put down as well. I'm going to trim off these little taggy bits with small scissors here. It's the little notches that are left after you try to pull something out of a die cut sheet. Pop the hole. Not sure if I'm going to put something in there, but for now, lining up my photo mat. There we go. So this is going to come like that, so that you can see the saying under the photo. Alrighty. So I'm going to put some adhesive at the bottom, and I'm going to put some pop dots at the top. So adhesive at the bottom, pop dots at the top, so that it gives it some height. So we're going to put that back there. And take the pop dot covers off. And we're going to slip that under like that. Alrighty, and then those pop dots are lifting this off, which is awesome. And then we have a couple of things going on in this corner, and we also have our arrow. Now the arrow I have to put on some white cardstock. So I have little bits of white cardstock in my container. Did he? I think I already have that out. Yes, I do. There we go. So in my little container, I have some white cardstock. Just going to pull one that is going to fit. Perfect. And I'm going to pull this off. So I just have the outline of a pre-existing arrow that I used on a different page, and I'm just going to put this right up to the edge, pop this down, and trim it out. So for every arrow that I purchase, I get 2. It's kind of fun to save money that way. There we go. And there's our arrow. Get rid of some of this. Back and go back in my whites. So that arrow is going to probably sit a little bit further out from here. Might be right on that edge. Not sure yet. This little guy is going to go up in the corner. And it is going to be sort of on the edge of the photo. So I am going to stick that down with a piece of repositionable tape. All right, there we go. And make sure my mat moves around. This is likely going to come across here like that. And then this is likely going to go across the corner. So we need to have our greens, and we're going to trim out these greens just a little bit. They're still going to have a little bit of white around them. This is the fussy cutting part. Not worried how that end looks so much, but would like to have this. Alrighty. Just a little quick fussy cutting happening. And the other one has been done more or less, so I'm not going to worry about that one. Just making this a little bit smoother. Looks like I was in a hurry when I cut that off the original. Okay, so now this is going to kind of go down here on the corner. So I am going to just tape that with a piece of repositional tape. Then I'm going to have this other piece that's going to come out from underneath there as well. All this is going under the photo. Actually, you know what? I can stick it down because I'll just leave that point. That would be much better if I could stick it down. All right, so I'm just going to leave the top corner unstuck, but I'm going to stick the leaves. All right, so for the leaves, we're going to do a little bit of rounding with our finger. So these little flowers, we're going to give some rounding to, bend up. And I just use my fingernail and give it some 3D properties. As you can see, it's not a lot of 3D. Bend that. fold that, bend it, turn it, fold it, fold, fold. There we go. So it just looks a little more 3D. And the heart is going to be the place that I put some adhesive down because I need to have the corner clear. I'm going to put a pop dot, whoops, in this flower and on that leaf. And that should be enough to hold it. And it's going to go like that. So my thing is still loose in there. There we go. So now I can slip this back underneath everything. And then this, we're just going to stick right in this area. And we're going to do the same thing to these leaves. Give them a bit of curl. And fold them up a bit. And I'm going to put a bit of adhesive right at the tip here. Don't need a lot. Just make sure there's a bit of texture, a bit of height in there. Alrighty, there we go. Now this guy is going to sit over top. Now I am not going to take the adhesive off one half of this. So half of it is going to be removed and half of it is going to be left on. And I am just going to fold this so that the plastic is outside, and then when I've got my photo down, if I pull, the whole thing will come off. So I'm folding that plastic from the back so that it's sticking out over the photo. So when I have my photo, I can actually pull it out from underneath and we're good to go. Okay. There we are. So half is down, and then all I have to do is pull this piece out when it's time to switch it out. And I got my little flower for the center. This guy, we're going to put right there. I'm missing something. Maybe I want that down there. No, I think I like that there. Might need a second one in that spot. All right, the good stuff, or this photo, or remember, or say cheese. Let's get it in our lighting. Say cheese. Oh snap. The good stuff. This photo, remember. I think I like remember. Just gotta get this out of the packaging. Pull this out. Ooh. The R is separate. That's always a problem for me. Okay, so where do I want it to sit? Remember. Maybe that's not dark enough. Remember. This photo. The good stuff is kind of fun too. Once you get the paper out of it, it's... Okay, say cheese is no good. Oh snap is a little too small. Okay. It's either going to be the good stuff, this photo, or remember. Actually, I like that whole unit right there. Okay. You know what? I think we're going to do it. We're going to do it, folks. We're going to do the remember. Remember. So there we go. Perfect. Okay. So just to give myself a sense of where I want the words to be, keeping it more or less even. There we go. And then I can take the R and put that at the beginning. Remember, perfect. There we are. Put the arrow. There. Now that's looking, there we go. Yes, that works. Now, this guy was up here. I'm gonna switch out this guy for in here. There we go. This guy can go down here. This guy can go down here. You want to have those hearts show up. There we go. La da da da. This wants to come up because I've got it not stuck. Alrighty. And we are done. So once the photo's in there, I'm going to remove the plastic under this, and this is going to stick down. I'm going to put the date on the tag up there. This is shifting, so everything's looking crooked. Okay. And then I might add some Wink of Stella, which I happen to have right here. I love Wink of Stella for its glittery properties. So I might add some Wink of Stella on the center of the flower. When this is done, I might add it onto the little petals. And sometimes I even add it onto the plastic. And it does stay, but you got to make sure it's really dry. Whoops, we forgot to stick that guy down. Alrighty. Last thing to do. Okay, this guy wants to move around. And this guy is going to go. Here's the edge of my paper. There we go. And I want it to be straight across the bottom. Now, I may put something in there. I may not. Not really sure right now. The camera's a bit crooked. There we go. And there we are. Our finished layout without the photo. There we go. And that's it. So there you go. Have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you next Thursday. Thanks for joining me. Bye now.